Okay, today we are talking about fabricating and installing a floating desk frame. Okay, so let's get started. I bought the flat bar at my local metal supply house for right around $6.75 for an 8-footer of 1-inch steel flat bar. And I have a drawing that I'm looking at, so I know how many pieces I need to cut and to what measurements I need to cut those pieces. I'm using a cutoff wheel, so always make sure you wear PPE, respirator, safety glasses, etc., face shield, hearing protection. Once I get the pieces cut, you'll note I've cleaned and deburred the ends, and now I'm just laying it out. Getting my welder set up, little 120 volt wire feed welder. It's flux core wire, 0.035. And I like to use that anti-spatter. These magnetic triangles. Helps with the fabrication process. I like to clamp my work in place so it doesn't move around quite as much while you're welding. And I'll simply start by tack welding the pieces together. And then once everything looks plumb and square and correct, then I'll run my final weld beads. And you may have to adjust your welding temperature up or down, or wire speed up or down, depending on how your welds look. Make sure you have a good ground, that your grounding clamps tightly and it's not loose. See me adjust the settings there a little bit. And the little chipping hammer works great to chip off the slag. I want to make sure I grind off the mill scale so we're welding to bare, clean parent material so you get the best welds. I'll be honest with you, I wasn't 100% happy with this design. I kind of screwed myself on the design because I only ordered an 8-foot stick of this 1-inch flat bar. I should have ordered a 10-foot stick. And the reason is if I had more material, I could have made that bottom piece of flat bar that will bolt against the wall long enough that I could have drove my screws into the wall studs. Whereas with this design that I went with, only that top piece of flat bar has mounting holes drilled 16 inches on center. So yes, that top piece of flat bar will go into studs, but that bottom piece of flat bar will not. I'll have to use heavy-duty drywall anchors or toggle bolts, unfortunately, and that was an oversight on my part. Especially when I'm welding thin material, it'll flex and move on you, so sometimes you might have to watch it and kind of hold it, pull it to one side, opposite of the way you want it to go. So if it's trying to pull to the left, you might need to pull it back to the right as it cools, because the metal will move during the welding process. And again, when you're welding, wear a respirator, safety glasses. Make sure you have the correct shade lens in your welding helmet. There's not a one-size-fits-all shade of lens. So depending on what type of welding you're doing, just keep that in mind. Do that research ahead of time. Just cleaning up the welds with the wire brush. And my grinder. And the goal here is I want all the corners to be nice, smooth, rounded, clean, no sharp edges anywhere. And obviously when we go to paint it later, we don't want any rust or mill scale, oil, grease, dirt, etc. on the surface of the metal. Now we're going to drill the mounting holes. I spray a little bit of lubricant on my drill bit. And I find it's better to start with a small drill bit and then increase your drill bit size. So drill a small pilot hole first. That way you're not trying to drill a large hole with a large drill bit all at once. And if you can secure your work in a vise, that's helpful, or clamp it with a C-clamp. So there it's painted black. I took it outside and painted it black after drilling the holes. Just dry fitting. I'm also going to make this little shelf with some L brackets, and it's going to have an under cabinet light attached to it. So I'm just picking out my screws. I like to save my screws from previous projects. Comes in handy in the future like this. Old glass jars or plastic buckets works great for that kind of thing. Woo! And then once I got it screwed together, I'll take it upstairs into the bedroom and we'll mark the holes on the wall and get it installed. And I'm going to use deck screws. They're like 2-inch long deck screws. Those will screw into the wall studs. So you can see I'm talking about that top flat bar will screw into wall studs, but the bottom ones I'll have to use these drywall anchors instead. Also use the drywall anchors for the little shelf with the light. Okay, so I got it screwed into the wall studs. I used a torpedo level to make sure it's level. And I need to mark my bottom holes to install the anchors. And I pre-drill a hole and then I press the anchor in and gently drive it in. Don't over torque them, you'll strip them out. And now we'll reinstall the frame on the wall, including those bottom screws. And those anchors expand as you screw your screw into them. Just checking alignment and see how the shelf looks. And I'm noticing those screws now hit the back of the desktop. So you can see I just drilled some relief holes, and that will accommodate those screw heads that are sticking out. Now it sits flush. And I'll use a little bit of wood glue on each screw that I drive in, because this is MDF. There you can see the little shelf with the light. My daughter likes to keep her iPad sitting on top of that, and she has a little stool to sit on to do her homework or art projects. And then with the light off, that's how it looks. It's a battery-powered light. I hope this information helps you. Please like, share, subscribe, leave me a comment, and thanks for watching.